Hi, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Northwood Replay, Episode 8. As we welcome on our studio set, as we have all season long, head coach Leonard Haynes of the Northwood Timberwolves, and my co-host, as always this morning, is Coach Rich Violette. It's great to have you along. We are going to go what was, and that's last Saturday down in Detroit, Michigan, as we took on the Warriors of Wayne State University. Coach, 56-21 was our loss. They have a good club, and they showed that. Before I get into what question I may be able to come up with, I know my partner, Rich Violette, has it actually wrote down on a sheet of paper, and I'm going to trust he's going to read it out loud to you.
I'm not sure I always read what I write.
I know, I know.
Coach Myron Harris, outstanding back for Wayne State. 4 plays of his 327 yards, he gained 237 of them. He had a 52, 63, 77, and 45-yard run. Did something break down in the defensive scheme? Was it their blocking scheme? Seems like they were getting in that C&D gap, and I know he's hard to bring down. He's an electric back, but what did you see in that performance?
Well, after watching the film, going back watching it on Sunday, kind of seeing, was it schematically something wrong? Was it, our players one-on-one, missed tackles? And it came down to basically we had opportunities to tackle the young man, and we didn't get him down. And so, I talked to Coach Mack about that on Sunday. We kind of went through it just to make sure, we weren't outmanned or outnumbered when they would pull, they pull or motion the guy over. And so, but at the end of the day, it's like I've said all years, we have to make those plays. When we're in a one-on-one situation, we got to make those plays. And so, and that's been preached all year to our guys. And we told them that this back was going to be pretty good. We knew he was going to be good. And obviously, you can't make him look that good if you don't get him to the ground. So that's on, that's on all of us. But it's on all of us. And Wayne State, we knew it was a good team, even though they were 1-7. We knew they were really good. 1-7 football
you take
team. 4
plays away, it's a significantly different game.
Right.
It really is.
Right.
Because offensively, I didn't think we played too bad.
No. And we were coming along offensively. I was really proud of our guys. We were moving the ball. We were doing some of the things we wanted to do. We weren't as consistent as I wanted to be. But actually, matter of fact, Ty Cox and I talked on the sideline. The silver lining was, at least we were moving the ball offensively and doing some things. So that was a positive. That was definitely a positive. And they were trying to keep us in the game. And but we got to be able to stop people if we want to win some football games too.
Sure.
We should meet that Ty Cox kid someday. Should be introduced to him. It could be a tease. You might want to stick around for a little bit for this one. So I did. I wrote down that Harris is a wrecking ball. It seemed like it was the same design play each time that he got big yards on. And as soon as you would start to key on him, and we had him some tackles for loss behind the line of scrimmage, all of a sudden their quarterback, Chase Churchill, he goes 13 for 14. And he picks up a couple of touchdowns. Mm-hmm. He throws for 175 yards to various receivers. So they had both sides of their offense working. I was just curious at the half, Coach, because Harris, Myron, he had already picked up a couple of his scores and a couple of 100 yards gain going in at halftime. Mm-hmm. The thought was, well, there we go. We just shut down their motor. We just go ahead and just isolate him, and we go. And he still had the ability, a big offensive line down there creating holes for him. His receivers blocked for him. That is really difficult, I'm thinking, when you have the accuracy of a 95% efficiency quarterback who's throwing that many completed passes. And they weren't for major yards, but he's hitting the small stuff to free up out in the flats and such. And that gave Harris the room to work around that end. And once he got to the sideline, it looked like we had some opportunities at the line of scrimmage, and as soon as he got to that second-tier defense, that's where he exploded.
You asked me a question.
There might have been one. So at the half. At the half. This is the really longest question I've ever asked you, isn't it? So at the half, right, by design, you know who the focus has got to be on based on his first half performance. Yeah. What was talked about defensively that you might be able to share?
Well, I mean, Coach Mack and the defense staff went and made some adjustments. So actually, when we came back on the half, out to third quarter, we made some stops on them.
Right.
And so, again, it worked for a bit, but, that kid, they make adjustments as well. So it necessarily wasn't running the same play per se, some outside zone, but they were running some power stuff. And obviously, the kid kept going.
Right.
And he had one of those nights, I guess he was in the zone or whatever. But, we can't make it easy for people. We can't get out of gaps. We got to make tackles. And so, but our defense staff did make some adjustments to slow him down. But like you said also, the play-action pass game started to work, started to open up because the running game is working. Why wouldn't you go to play-action pass? And so that left some things open there as well. So they had a good night. We did not. And so that's how it goes.
We're going to take a look at some highlights in a second here, but I want to talk about some things that on the ground, Cash picks up almost 100 yards. He has 94 yards rushing in 15 carries. Ty Cox has 15 for 29. He finishes with a touchdown and about 175 yards in the air. So we were playing to score our 21. We were playing good Northwood offense, it seemed like, but again, we got behind the 8 ball early.
Yeah, got back early and then trying to battle back to get back in the game. It's going to be tough, especially against a good football team.
Coach, before we go to the highlights, excuse me, I want to switch gears a little bit here. It's probably recruiting season, right? And what is the process for recruiting? Are you heavily into recruiting now that the high schools are done? How does that work in season?
In season? Well, in season, the way it works is we get kids up for game day visits. Kids come up for game day visits that we've have seen over the summer. We try to make those relationships and get those guys up to a game to see us and spend some time with us, just to kind of take in a little bit of what Northwood's about, during the fall season for us. And then after that, the high school started to close up shop, whether season's coming to an end. And what we do, obviously, we're still playing, so we'll have a game day visit this weekend. And then after our last game, we'll start setting up visits to get kids up for visit with us, some official visits and whatnot. But these are kids that we've been on throughout the summer, and it started back in their junior year.
And are your coaches traveling during season or no to go
just
see
to go
kids?
watch kids? Yeah, we can only go watching games, things of that nature. Now during the bye week, we've gotten out to some schools just to go to some practices, to see some coaches and get information on kids, but try to be visible, try to be seen. And, obviously getting out to the games, that's the big marketing thing you have to do.
Sure.
Get out so kids can see you out there looking at them and that we have interest in them. So hopefully the interest is mutual. We get them to our games. And like I said, we try to continue that recruiting process after our season and get them up to spend some time with us, more on an intimate level.
Yeah.
Coach,
I was curious.
Yeah, good question, by the way, because it's year-long really recruiting to some capacity or not.
Yes.
Your activity against it.
It's always 24/7.
Let's take you back to your hometown for a minute. We've got some highlights from Detroit, Michigan in our contest last weekend against Wayne State. Let's take a look at those, Coach.
All right, let's do it. All right, got Ty Cox here. On the screen, I can't see the rest of the play, but hopefully it was complete, right? Was that the play there? All right. Play there to
It's Cash.
Cash.
Yep.
All right. Those new camera angles kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
All right, kickoff return. We're really excited about our kickoff return unit. A lot of teams haven't really kicked to us all year. But,
Christian Martinez
kind of breaks one open and, kind of laughed at him a little bit here. I told him
And they didn't kick to you.
Yeah.
They didn't kick to you the rest of the game either.
They definitely didn't kick to us the rest of the game. So definitely a bright spot for us there. You can see Big Brock Franklin taking it inside zone play. There's nice deliveries from Ty Cox to K13, Noah Kinishnik.
49 yards on the game and catches.
Yep. So, like I said, our offense was doing some good things. You can see Cash here getting loose a little bit. Like you said, I believe earlier, Dale, he rushed about 94. Yeah, about 94 yards. So, again, it was good to see. It's almost somewhat a broken play, but we'll make something out of it. And, again, having a guy like Cash back there definitely helps us, give us a chance. And you see here Cash on a strong run by him and some push from the offensive lineman to get him in that end zone to get that score. Again, very much needed. Hopefully we thought that would give us some momentum. But here it is now. Ty Cox is really settling in there at the quarterback spot and getting the ball out, getting it to the guys who need to get it to. And you got Brock Franklin, again, who's come alive the last couple of weeks running the football for us. So very proud of what he's doing in his senior campaign. And then a nice catch here by Noah from Ty to get that touchdown. So we did some good things offensively. You know, like I said, that was the silver lining. We were able to move the ball. And again, I thought Wayne defense was pretty good defense as well. For us to do that, you know, obviously give us some glimmer of hope going forward.
Sure thing.
Yeah, last week results, obviously not the results we wanted there at the top. But we'll go to Davenport, Saginaw. Saginaw wins over Davenport. Grand Valley fended off a tough Michigan Tech team. I think that was their second contest. And then Ferris State over Northern Michigan. And here's the standings, as you see. At the top, Ferris State, Grand Valley, number 2. Saginaw, Tech tied at 3-2. And Davenport, Wayne State 3-2 and 1-4. And then us out down at the bottom of the conference stands at 0-5. And then our overall records there, as you can see, again, Ferris is at the top, followed by Grand Valley. And then, you know, you basically got the rest of us. And we at least got one win in there, but we want more.
You bet. You got a couple more chances to do that. By the way, Ferris and Grand Valley still ranked in the top 10 in the country in D2. So, and we talked, and they've both been there for the most part all season long.
Yep, rightfully so.
That's not new. So we are going to take possibly a quick break or not, because I may have one. I'm trying to think about. Now listen, I'm trying to think about when we start to talk about going mad, because we got to do that.
We got to talk about going mad, volunteer. Yes.
Then we're going to put some people. That's right. We're going to put some people on the wall in our Hall of Fame inductions on Northwood's campus this Saturday. So we got a busy weekend on it, depending on how we're doing on time. We'll do that in the second half after we talk about the Huskies from Michigan Tech. So what we'll do, Coach, is the tease I gave a little earlier, a few minutes ago, about maybe having the opportunity to meet the starting quarterback for the Northwood Timberwolves. I'm thinking Ty Cox may be in the house, and we might be able to put him in the chair that Coach Haynes has warmed up for him. So you stick around. We're going to take you without a helmet, without shoulder pads on. We're going to introduce you to the starting quarterback for the Northwood Timberwolves, and we're going to do that right after this.
Hi, my name is Anders and I'm here at MCTV Broadcast Camp, and today I learned how to edit. For more information, check out the link below.
And welcome back, everybody. It is segment 2 of episode 8 of Northwood Replay, the first week of November 2021. And it's our pleasure to bring in one of Coach Haynes' leaders this year on the Timberwolves football team, and that is Ty Cox, quarterback for the Northwood Timberwolves. Ty, great to have you here this morning.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Now, listen, you are a couple of miles north of Cato Hills, Texas.
Yes, sir.
And that is where you are from.
Yep.
You also were a transfer student this last year from Hillsdale, so this is your first year with the Timberwolves. And you're doing your MBA through our DeVos program, and your undergrad is you're in accounting.
Yes, sir.
So everybody's adding and subtracting numbers in every piece of business. So that's got some bright future for you, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit, Ty, about how did you end up at Northwood? Why are you here?
So I originally started out at Hillsdale, kind of getting from Texas to Michigan. They recruited me at a summer camp, sent some film up, and then spent my 4 years there, graduated, and still had a year of eligibility left, and wanted to see if I could still play, get a chance to contribute significantly on the field. And Northwood looked like a school that I would want to go to. I mean, with all the business degrees and the master's program, it seemed like a really good fit. And also, you know, running the triple option offense. I'm
Sure.
more of a mobile quarterback than I am a pocket passer.
Yes, you are.
Even though, you know, I don't have as many rushing yards as some guys, but so I started the recruiting process with that, and Coach Rietma, the younger one, the offensive coordinator before Coach
Zach.
Arnold, yes, he kind of got me in the door, and then my relationship with Coach Arnold kind of grew from there, and I decided this is where I wanted to come play. So, yeah.
Well, it's great to have you. You're a blast to watch.
Ty, you say you're more mobile, but you've been kind of thrust into a position where I've noticed you do a great job of scanning the field, checking down, not getting locked on one receiver before you have, and then pulling the trigger when you need to pull the trigger, and then being mobile if you have to be mobile. So I know I've mentioned that a number of times in the broadcast. It's a pleasure to watch you and see your progression and see you improve, quite honestly. And so I normally ask, the player, tell me a little bit about your position. Everybody in the world knows about the quarterback position.
Yes, sir.
But you came in as, backup, right? So you had to always be ready.
Yep.
And then when you got your chance, you've made the best of it. Tell us a little bit about that mindset of being ready, and what does it take to be a leader on the team, and especially from your position?
Yeah, so I had 4 years of experience doing it at Hillsdale. So the role is not an unfamiliar one for me. I think it's a big part of it is knowing that you're going to get less reps, so you have to be better on those less reps than everyone else is. Really, a lot that goes into it is just the mental reps and watching film and being prepared as more than anyone else on the team, because at the end of the day, repetition is what gets your muscle memory and what allows you to be prepared when you are thrust onto the field. But if you can have a mental advantage, then that makes sort of all the other the lack of repetition easier on you when you're making that transition into the significant role of starting.
So much of that too, Ty, is timing and the chemistry between you and your core of receivers. And you've got K13 in your patterns, you've got Hall in your patterns, and you've got Bryant Kieft in your patterns. That connection seems to come together very quickly. You've gone to those receivers very successfully and given them good yardage too. That's got to be you getting more reps, and certainly getting the starts has had to have been a good thing to make that handshake between you and your receivers a better relationship as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I spent the summer up here with John, so that kind of helped, not having him with the program previously. And then last year I had plenty of time to get to know Bryant, to get to know Noah, to get to know Christian, and all the other slots, like
Right.
Taj and Marcus. So I think, yeah, you're right. Whenever the more real live reps you get with them, the more you start to understand, hey, here's how he's going to run his route. Here's how he's going to run his route. How do you want, to place the ball on this certain route to him? There's a big difference between some of our guys. Like Brian is a 50-50 catch guy. Like we want him to be inside the, 20 to 25 yard line and go score a touchdown on a
His
jump
yards
ball.
after catch are incredible.
Give him a
yeah,
chance.
that's what we want.
He's going to catch it.
Noah, John Hall, those guys are our speed guys. We want to give them the ball vertically, just because that's what they're talented and
Right.
gifted with. So a lot of that is just knowing who's who and getting them in the situations, and then when we're in that situation, going to that person. And some of that you can't really simulate in practice as well as you can in the game.
Well, I'll quickly say this. Your leadership shows on the team because guys believe in you when you're in there. So kudos to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
And
you.
just like that, Ty, like I promised, 5 minutes is toast.
It is.
We are out of here. So much more. Good luck at what lies beyond with the 2 weeks left in this season. I know that you're a rapping MBA come the end of next summer, so you've got some work ahead of you. Study the books and go to
I will.
class.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I didn't even have to say that. Ty Cox, the starting quarterback for the Northwood Timberwolves. He'll be in action Saturday against Michigan Tech at home here in Midland, Michigan. Stop out and see the final home game of the season. Stop and watch this youngster play and the magic he does. We'll be right back to talk about those pesky Huskies right after this break.
Hi, I'm Wes. I'm here at MCTV Broadcasting Camp. This week, I learned how to be a technical director. To learn more and get involved, click this link below.
And welcome back, everybody. Northwood Replay. As we do, let's talk a little bit about one of your senior leaders, one of your grad student leaders, Ty Cox. Coach, you've had him under your belt for a year now. What do you think of that young fella?
Oh, man, very first class, very professional, handles himself very well. You know, he was in a backup role like you guys have mentioned, and he's come in and done a great job of taking over. You know, Nate has gone down, and he comes right in, and, you know, he kind of is a calming, I guess, force in a way.
Notice that.
But very professional, man. He just comes in and put his work in and, you know, clock in, clock out type of guy. So,
Sure.
And he works at his craft. You know, he tries to get it right at practice and or after practice. I see him working with the receivers. So, tremendous young man. He's going to have a great life after football.
Life ahead of him.
Yeah.
I'll have to hook up an interview with him. Maybe I can get him to come to work for my company.
There you go.
As I would like with many of your players
Yeah.
that you bring in here.
Yeah.
So, Coach, looking ahead to Tech, Will Ark is their quarterback. He seems pretty solid,
Yeah.
second in the league in passing. They're a sound football team, it looks like on paper. They don't make any mistakes. In fact, they lead the nation in fewest penalties.
Yes.
So what can we expect in Tech, and what do they do well, and what do we need to do to get that W?
Yeah, like you said, Tech is a very sound football team, very disciplined. They have some playmakers. You know, they're a very gritty football team. Very, you know, those guys all have motors, it seems like. So, you know, they run around.
Some shoveling that snow.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe we need to get into that.
It's coming.
But Tech has always been a solid football program. Just has some great disciplined football players, and again, they're not always that flashy. You know, offensively, they want to run the ball, play action, pass you. You know what you're going to get. They're going to screen. You know, throw some screens in there, and then they'll try and challenge you down the field at times because they do have some athletes that can cut loose a little bit. So from an offensive side of things, and they're also big up front. They've always been big up front, both sides of the ball. So defensively, again, sound football team. You know, they're going to play their stuff. Now they've been a little bit more multiple now from what I've seen this year. They've been pretty multiple. So they'll throw some 3-man front stuff in, 4-man front. They're going to send some pressures. But they do a solid job just overall as a program.
Pretty much old school. A little
Yes.
bit old school.
Yes.
Coach is old school. I see their quarterback is also their punter.
He's a punter, yes.
You know, so you got to be ready for that.
Yes.
But good.
So I've always remembered them of being a ground game team. They had a young fella, graduated a couple of years ago, but he was always amongst the GLIAC leaders on the ground. Just a little brick. He was hard to bring down. He was north-south. I can't tell you the name because I'm old. But I noticed that they more heavily rely on their numbers this year, and they're averaging about 270 yards a game, and about 170 of those are in the air, and about 95 of those are on the ground. Typically, they are almost a 50-50 squad. Is there anything that passing game brings to light? They got a kid that's a good catch when he throws it. They got a quarterback that obviously makes good decisions. What are you seeing?
Well, they got a quarterback who's been with the system and understands the system, and he's great for their system. And then you also have the receivers. They have some talented receivers out there, and those guys, again, they just do what they do. And you kind of know what they're going to give you, really. You just got to be able to stop it. And so you got to kind of disturb them a little bit to get them off kilter if you can. So that's going to be the game plan for us. Is we got to go in there and try to, disturb them in a way to knock them off. But we got to make plays. We got to win one-on-one matchups because, again, Tech's a good football team. Defensively, offensively, special teams, they do a great job all around. And so go ahead.
They're 500 on the year. They're 4-4, and that puts them in the GLIAC right now. They're sitting at 3-2.
Yep.
They've lost a couple of weeks in a row, but they've had the stiff competition from the top, right, with the Grand Valley and the Ferris.
Yeah.
They're looking for a road win, and we're looking at Senior Day at Northwood. You're going to have a lot of youngsters that won't be strapping things on in about 13 days that football career, college career is over. And we've talked about the adrenaline that being at the Wood brings to your squad. Senior Day is very important to a number of your guys. How about for the staff preparing those students for that last home game and students in general, your club?
Well, it's the last day. It's the last time they're going to wear that Northwood home jersey.
Right.
It's going to be the last time for a lot of things. It's going to be the last time they all assemble together as a team right there at home. So It's one of those times that it goes quick, goes fast, and a lot of these guys know it. And the crazy thing is, some of them do have extra years that they
Right.
can come back because of the COVID NCAA rules, but most of these guys have gotten job offers.
Exactly.
They got job opportunities, so that is hard to
Life
turn down.
didn't stop, did it?
Yeah, no. So I would love to have some of these guys back, but hey, they got to go out and make a living for themselves, and they've been here for about 5 years or so. I doubt they want to come back for
Sure.
6 or 7 year, but I'm proud of our seniors, to hanging in here and trying to get this program back on track.
Ahead of Saturday's game, tomorrow's a big day at Northwood University as Go Mad. Describe a little bit about how you put your boys in action and what kind of work we can do to help this community.
Yeah, Go Mad is near and dear to all of us.
You bet it is.
I've been around since the inception of the word Go Mad, and with the days of Coach Reitman, and so the university is taking hold of it. But we want to make sure we get out in the community and give back in a big way. Around town, whatever it is they have us to do. I don't know what type of jobs they have set up for us yet.
You'll find out when you get there, right?
We'll find out for sure, but that's a big day for us, and we want to make sure we go out and make a difference in this community here.
And then also, Coach, let's go ahead and take a peek at our game, of course, Saturday at home against the Huskies.
Yep. Come on out November the 6th for Senior Day, 1 o'clock start, and to listen to you guys on the radio if you can't make it to the games.
And then you'll be attending some inductions that night.
Yes, Hall of Fame. We got a few obviously great athletes going in, and one that I had the opportunity to be around in my days is Ron Hunter.
Righto.
He also played basketball as well.
Still owns some wood records.
Yes, he does. He's a phenomenal athlete, and it was about time that he got in, and so I'm very excited to see Ron this weekend.
And our Dean of Students,
And
Andy Kripe goes
Kripe,
in.
Yeah, what an honor for Andy. He's been around Northwood for about 20 years, I believe. So,
Yeah.
in an athletic trainer role, so he definitely made a difference in a lot of athletes'
6
lives.
inductees come Saturday night
yeah.
following our final home game. Coach, last thoughts?
Looking forward to this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Senior day, senior night. I know the team will play for those seniors.
Yeah.
And, hey, let's go get a W.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Ready for a dub. A home win to finish the season before we go north.
That's
That's it for this one. It goes just so fast, and we're glad that you've continued to participate in these on a weekly basis as our viewers. And it's always great to have you in studio, Coach. And we bring the Northwood warmth when we show up on Saturday too with you. So literally, we're going mad all day tomorrow. If you see us, honk. Just make sure we're not in the street when you do that. We'll be around your community. We'll be throughout Midland County, and we are going away mad. We're going to make a difference on behalf of Pat and Sherry Riepma in their memory, and the fact that we can change our life and change those around us simply by going out and making a difference. That's how we're getting out of here. We're going away mad. So long, everybody.